Hello again, and welcome to Sony Smart Agriculture Academy webinar series. And today we are going to have the presentation titled "Evaluate the Efficacy of Crop Application." Crop protection application. Now, today's speakers, I'm Yu Kitamura, from Sony, in charge of this agriculture solutions based in New Jersey, USA. I'm going to introduce the Sony Smart Agriculture overview with additional update of the version 2.1 software coming next month. And we are having this today, the guest speaker from Syngenta, Mr. Peyton Merriam. He is going to talk about how to utilize drones to plan and execute the crop protection application. So before getting into the presentations, a couple of the housekeeping stuff. The first, if you have any questions, then on the right-hand side of the GoToWebinar panel, you can type in the question to us. And at the end of this presentation, we will have the question and answer session, and we will answer the questions at the end of this presentation. The second is, so we are going to have some interactive things. So after this, we are going to have a quick poll, and also at the end of this webinar, we are asking you to give us a feedback post webinar survey. Just a minute. You need to click a couple of the times. So please feedback us, then we can improve our webinar. Okay, so let's start. So to start, I'd like to have a quick poll, and so the question is, so you have in the quick poll information here. So do you use drones for your operation? Would you please feedback? Just click yes or no. So that we can understand your situation or environment you are operating. Okay, so we are receiving the feedback. Okay, so thank you for the feedback. So I close the poll, and let me share the result. So here today, so we have roughly half people already use the drones in the operation, and so and half people not using the drone operation. Okay, thank you very much. And then today's presentations, both people can take some information, but this is for their people who don't use the operation yet, then we are having another the webinar archive, which are maybe more comprehensive introduction of the smart agriculture solution from Sony. So that might be also a good source of the information for you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so so today's solution introduction is all about drone-based remote sensing solutions. And we hear from the people who use the drones and who are thinking of the drones use and hesitating to use that. What's the pain point of this solution operation? And we identify some of the pain points, and then trying to solve this pain point with our solution. So these are the workflow of the drone flight operation, drone flight, making a map, and then identify the problem area. And then if necessary, you go down and get to the exact location for the ground truthing, and then identifying the cause and making the action plans and execute the action. So that's the whole workflow. And then one of the biggest challenges is after you fly the drones, having the data you can use for the decision making, that takes a long time. Ideally, you like to have this data ready when you are at the field, then you can talk to the stakeholders, the growers or agronomists around those areas when you visit those areas. So that's something you would expect, but it's not really easy to have the data ready for the quick decision making. And also the lack of intuitive diagnostic tools is available. As a result, the timeliness of the action is lost. So what Sony tried to do is to address this challenge. So our solution concept is the decision making in the field, leveraging quick action. The three key features here. So the first one is a fast stitching in-field offline operation. So our solution works completely offline environment, and then generating the data of this NDVI and RGB map within minutes at the edge of the field after the flight. So that's the first point. You can have the data right after the flight. The second point is a dedicated field analytics, the tools. So we're going to have the NDVI analytics, histogram analytics, the tools, as well as some additional analytics such as stand count. And easy operation, this is one of the things we are going to introduce today. So our solution capturing the data and processing the data and then making the prescription end to end as a single operation. So from data capture to prescription, this solution covers this workflow. And the product we are offering is the cameras, mounted on the drones, and the software. This software is called Fast Field Analyzer, having the stitching capabilities and analyzing capabilities. Drone can be used across the season. The Peyton is talking about more in the use case, but in general, the early stage of the plant where maybe we are in now, you can use the drones for the stand count for the replant judgment. And in the mid-season, you can utilize the drone mapping for fertilizer application, variable rate, the application, and the later stage yield estimation. So those kind of things is more later stage use case. But across the season, the early to the late disease, you can utilize the solution for crop protection application, as well as general crop scouting operations. And Peyton is talking about this kind of the use case further detail later. Now, that's a brief introduction of the Sony solution, and I'd like to have I'd like to introduce the update of the software version up coming up next month. So as we talk about the operation of the drone flight to the map generations, ground truthing, identifying the cause, and make action plan. So normally you generate the drones, you generate the data, you make a ground truthing, but you are back at the office to make a prescription plans and things. And that is done by for FMS, farm management softwares and things. Now, what is coming in the next version, Fast Field Analyzer, this can cover as a part of this making action plan. That means after the flight, you grab the data and you can discuss with your growers or agronomists when you're at the field or areas. It's quite often the case that you are driving to the field, sometimes maybe more than hours or 2 hours for the client's locations, for example. And when you are getting there, you like to discuss face-to-face, obviously. And after this drone flight, you are going to have the data quickly, and you can discuss the crop protection application plan with your client at the client location using this software too. So prescription feature, brief introduction of this is a side-by-side compare. You can compare the data side-by-side, NDVI and other source of the data, possibly from maybe this previous year yield data information. You can compare versus the latest NDVI map, and you can compare the soil map versus the latest NDVI map, and then so you can compare and then analyze, think of what prescription is appropriate for the situation. And you can generate the grid zone map based on the latest flight result, which I'm going to show you. And after you making the zone, you can configure the application rate. So in this case, 5 zone defined, and you can configure the application rate, something like this. And you can export this prescription information as a shape file to import back to application controller. And you can export the report of this prescription. So that's the brief introduction of this functionality. And I'd like to show you a quick demonstration of this feature. So here, this is the fast field analyzer, the software. When you start up, then you have this list of the farm here, and you click the farm, then the list of the field there. I just have the 2 field there. And when you click field, then you have the list of the flight event you made here. So let's select this one of the data here. So this is the NDVI map flight made July. And you can see this now NDVI map and RGB map. You can see this side by side like this. And what you're going to do is you observe this field, and if you are maybe interested in some areas, scouting location, you can pin the location. And you can export this, the pinpoint to the relevant format of this, selection from here. So if you export as KML, and then you can import back to the Google Map, so that the Google Map help you to navigate being there at the exact location you pinpoint here. Now, after pinpoint, you find out, okay, this red area is caused by some disease. Then you now know the cause of this deterioration. So you now know what crop protection needs to be applied. And afterwards, you can select this map, and you can start to generate the grid map. So you can specify the grid size as you like. Let's select the 60 feet. So you have now the grid zone here, and you can change this grid as you like. So if you like the 10 class scale, you can do that, or let's keep it simple, the 5 for now. So you have this NDVI grid map. You compare it to the NDVI map. You can see this. So this NDVI map is now converted to the grid map. And once you define the grid map, you can configure the application rate here. So pesticide A, and you select what pesticide to apply, cost per unit, how much apply as a default, and you can have all these zone, and you can actually change this zone, adjust this zone to make it simplified so that the application would work. All depends on this what kind of application method you are using. So you can fine tune in the zone here. And once you're happy, you can specify the application rate. And then you will have the result of this calculation. So you will have totally how much amount of this pesticide is applied and how much does it cost. And select OK. Then you will have the now let's see, just going back to the screen. No, so pesticide crop protection application. Thanks. Sorry. Yep, it's coming up. And so this crop protection, application prescription, you can export it as a shape file, or you can generate a PDF report to share with the growers and agronomists or stakeholders to manage the field together. So that's the brief introduction how you can generate a prescription, and you can share the prescription information at the site of the grower's field with the relevant stakeholders. Now, that's the end of my presentations, and then I'd like to hand it over to Peyton from Syngenta.
Thanks, Yu. And thanks everybody for being a part of the webinar today and listening in. And I'm going to walk us through a few slides. As you mentioned, we're going to talk about crop protection through the lens of drone scouting. And before I do so, I want to introduce myself and the organization that I work with. So as you mentioned, my name is Peyton Miriam. I work with Syngenta, and I'm a part of our digital ag solutions marketing team. And so I'm a marketing lead with responsibilities for imagery and our imagery solutions. So I want to talk a little bit about that today and how this drone scouting solution fits into that overall picture of what we're working on in our digital ag solutions team, and also provide some use cases today of where we've seen success utilizing this drone scouting solution, which includes the Sony camera that you went through today. So with that, I want to go ahead and get started and just provide a little bit of context, if you will, to the digital ag space and the reason why Syngenta is in digital ag. And so Syngenta is a global crop protection seeds and seed care manufacturer. We have our global headquarters in Basel, Switzerland. However, we have quite a few sites throughout the U.S. Our North America crop protection headquarters is in Greensboro, North Carolina, which I'm based out of, but we have field personnel throughout the whole country. Working with growers and retailers, and we've been working in this digital ag space for quite a few years now, and really putting a lot of attention into this particular space the last few years, as this is really growing and becoming a really interesting and fun place to be a part of. So within our digital ag solutions team, and what we're really focused on from our vision and ambition, as you can see on the screen here, we're working to empower the channel, our retailers, those consultants and others that are working with growers to help growers reach full farm potential through our digital enabled solutions. And we do that through a variety of ways. One way in which we do that, and we're aiming to become better and better at, is through connectivity with integrators. We hear from our customers almost on a daily basis around, this digital space has really blown up. There's lots of platforms, there's lots of different solutions out there. We would like for things to be more concise or more together, if you will, work together better. And so, that's one of our ways in which we are working and striving to bring solutions together. And I'll give you an example of where we're doing that in the imagery space today as well. And finally, we really focused on offering solutions that enable outcome-based value share. And really what that means to me is, there's a lot of fun and cool and exciting and splashy things, if you will, in this digital ag space. You'll probably see a lot of it on Twitter, Facebook, et cetera, around the different advancements that are happening almost on a daily basis. And while we are a part of that, and we are going to continue to push the envelope forward in this space, we have to stay grounded into making sure that the decisions that we make and the solutions that we bring into the ag industry is something that actually provides value to our customers. So what does that really look like? How do we do that? It doesn't come as a surprise to you, whether you're a farmer or a retailer. You know that there are lots of things that go on throughout just a single day in terms of managing an operation. Lots of different questions that go through the minds of growers, lots of different scenarios that have to play out. And so as we bring digital tools to the industry, to the marketplace, we're looking to provide solutions that from planning to harvest can help bring a level of certainty or confidence to our customers. So our digital tools for retail and for growers are really trying to address the questions, and as you mentioned earlier with the Sony platform, address some of the pain points, if you will, that help reduce the level of uncertainty that's out there. And these are just a few questions that we've tracked that go on in the emotional journey of a farmer. However, you could probably think of another 100 or 1,000 additional questions that take place on a daily, weekly, monthly basis as it relates to farming. So, we're just trying to ground truth everything that we're developing, working in partnership with our retail customers to bring these solutions to our customers. So that's a little bit about the background of Syngenta and where we're at. Our digital ag solutions team here in the U.S. is really focused on three main areas, some of which you may have heard about. If not, I'll just provide a quick synopsis. We have AgReg, which is a full farm solution for retailers and growers that provides farm management software as a base technology, and it's really rooted in agronomics and service. It's a really great platform that's been around in the marketplace for quite a few years, and that's one of our main pillars within the digital ag solutions space. I'm going to skip digital agronomy. I'll come right back to that one. But we also have sustainable solutions as a part of our digital ag team, and our sustainable solutions group is really focused on working with downstream partners and pairing them with growers to help provide one from sourcing, but also helping our growers from a sustainability lens, make sure that those that are focused in this area are improving the way in which they're growing their crops, finding new solutions and improvements, being able to measure, track, be in compliance, et cetera. So this is a really fun area and a growing area of our digital ag space as well. And then finally, digital agronomy here in the middle. This is what we're going to be talking about today. This is where the drone scouting solution plays a part. This is also where our other imagery offers and digital tools for our retail channel and such would fall into. So with that, I wanted to just mention real quickly around the digital agronomy piece. Outside of our drone scouting solution, we do have an additional imagery offer that actually plays into our drone scouting offer currently. And so I just want to touch on that real quickly, just so you can see how, when we talk about integrating and bringing solutions together, this is one area that we are doing that. We have a platform called Farm Shots. It's our satellite imagery offer that is available for retail customers. AgReg growers as well have access to Farm Shots, but we have a unique offering to our retail customers to be able to provide satellite imagery for their operation and to also potentially even offer that to their customers. this is a great solution, and I'm not going to spend much time. We can do this on a separate occasion, but this is a great solution that really helps with reducing scouting time. It also has some great prescription options, not just for planting, but also for fertilizer and for crop protection prescriptions creation. And then also it's got some really great analysis platform that includes histograms and other ways in which you can sort and analyze your fields and see which ones are performing better than others. It's a really great platform. The drone scouting that we're talking about today, all the imagery that's captured off of the Sony drones can be moved into the FarmShots platform for analysis, for storage, and it really provides, when you have that satellite imagery from a 10-meter resolution standpoint that's coming by every 3 to 5 days, along with your really high resolution drone imagery that you're capturing, it provides a really great picture throughout the season that complements each other very well. And as we build out these digital agronomy tools, we are really focused on helping our retail channel partners have a unique value offer, and we're doing that in a variety of ways. One way that we're doing that is through our white label opportunities. So what is a white label? It's essentially taking a website, so our FarmShots imagery website that we have, we can repurpose that for our customers and basically make that website their own website. So it can be the retailer's name and the web address along with their logo on the website, and so that their customers, whenever they want to access imagery, it will look and feel like they're going to that retailer's own imagery website. This is a really unique and great value offer that we have, and we've heard a lot of great responses from our retailers that are utilizing this, and this is another thing that drone imagery can easily go into and help complement. So just wanted to mention that help kind of frame up that this digital agronomy piece of our digital ag solutions team. It's more than just drones. It's also more than just satellite imagery, but we're really looking at making a big picture and a big solution that works across multiple needs here. So about today's topic around drones and how crop protection plays a part in that. There's a few reasons why Syngenta is really excited and has been proud to work with Sony over the past few years as we've brought this unique value offer into the marketplace. And we at Syngenta really think that when you combine our agronomic and service along with our retailers' agronomic and service expertise together with Sony, who has best-in-class camera and technology expertise, we really got something unique here in this ag sector and ag imagery sector, excuse me. And we're working on connecting those pieces, continuing to better that solution. But at the end of the day, we're looking to provide our growers and trusted advisors with that imagery solution that really enables not just capturing, but also analyzing imagery, being able to rely upon it and make more confident decisions. So saving time and feeling more confident in the decisions that are going on in the field. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. I know you kind of went over a few of the main value propositions of the Sony platform as it relates to drone scouting. I think the two things that really stand out to me are around the fast stitching, being able to do things in field and offline, and also stand count analysis, which is a somewhat newer feature for our 2020 season. We've heard from several retail customers of ours that this has saved them lots of time and has provided a very accurate way to analyze and get a stand count to make quicker decisions for their customers. So right now that's optimized for corn and cotton, and I know that Sony and Syngenta are working together to try to expand that list into 2021 with more crops as well. So continuing to build this out and continue to make it a better and better tool for usage in the future. So let's get into a few use cases that I know that this is the main reason why you wanted me on, is to share a little bit around how crop protection plays a piece into this overall drone scouting. So as we look at use cases, there's quite a few different ways in which these drones can be used, and the Sony cameras can be used to really provide value. So one way in which Syngenta is working with Sony is we're continuing to work on developing different algorithms that help view the imagery that's coming off of these cameras and be able to make actionable decisions with that lens, if you will. And so I've listed here on the screen several different ones. I'll go through an example or two today to kind of provide some context, but you can see here plant emergence. We talked about stand count. That's definitely one that that provides some great use cases. Looking at conditions from fertilizer, we heard in last week's webinar around fertilizer and some great applications for that with the drones. Detecting disease, weed, or pest presence. Estimating yield is another big one when it comes closer to harvest time, and evaluating when to harvest and really the damage or loss that you could have when extreme weather or other conditions occur. These are just a few. I encourage you, if you do have a drone and you're utilizing this platform, I encourage you to get creative, because there are lots more that we hear about on a very frequent basis of different ways in which this can be utilized. But these are a few common ones that we've seen. And what benefits do these use cases bring? I mean, as you've already heard, being able to see the field and within minutes instead of hours or days is a critical piece of it. Making those data-driven decisions and making real-time decisions at the same time. If you're anything like me, I make a lot of gut decisions, and I like to think that my gut really makes good decisions, but sometimes the data provides better decisions than what I normally would call or act upon. And so it's really great to have some additional insights. And again, back to the original point I was making earlier, build that confidence in your own decision making on whether it is the right decision to make on your operation. So with that being said, I wanted to provide a little bit of context here to some of these claims that we've made around drone scouting. So if you see here on the screen, what I've got presented is two images of the same field. This is actually a demonstration trial that we did here at Syngenta. Less important around what's being grown here, but more so this is just a visual to kind of give an example of. On the left, you have 10-meter satellite imagery. This is through the Sentinel that we offer through Farm Shots, which is a great solution, especially when you're looking at large fields and identifying where problem areas are in a field. So not knocking this by any means, it's just different uses for the tools. So on the left is your 10-meter satellite imagery. On the right is your Sony camera, high resolution on a drone. This is 2.3 inches. That's really giving you some great detail. So really what the difference is providing here is not only is it a clearer image that you're getting, which is pretty, but as I mentioned earlier, pretty only gets you so far. You have to have a so what to it. And so really what you get from this image is the ability of not only when you just detect that something is wrong, is being able to use the image to zoom in and potentially even identify what is the issue in that area. Whereas the 10-meter on the left, you could potentially identify where an issue is, but you would have no idea or even be able to begin to think about what that issue could be, because you don't have quite the resolution at all to zoom in. You're just getting a little bit fuzzier pixels on your screen. So this is just kind of a visual to show you there's quite a bit of difference between satellite imagery and the high resolution imagery that comes off of the Sony cameras on these drones. So here on the next slide, you'll see additional side-by-side examples. So on the left is the Sony NDVI analysis that's provided. On the right is a competitor drone flight as well. And really nothing too different in terms of what you're getting back from these two offerings in terms of being able to identify problem areas in the field. But one big difference that stands out is the amount of time processing. So the 3-minute processing time for or stitching time, if you will, in drone technology terms, with NDVI is a game changer compared to having to wait an hour and a half, or with other competitive drone softwares, it could take you up to 24 hours to process that image that's been captured from your drone. So you're able to, within minutes of completing your flight, which only takes somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes to fly for this field, and then bring it back in, and within 3 minutes have an NDVI image. You're able to make decisions in real time there in the field. I don't think many folks would be waiting around an hour and a half. They'd be moving on to the next field or the next item of business, and then coming back and looking at it. Where this one, you can make quick decisions, have that conversation with your customer that you're working with, and then move on to the next field that you need to scout. So this is a great solution. Again, it's 3 minutes stitching time. It's for NDVI. It's around 10 minutes for RGB, and that was for 126 acres. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I've thrown out a few abbreviations with NDVI and RGB. So NDVI is, for those that aren't aware, is really just a way in which you can view images. It's an algorithm. It's an equation that's built off of plant health, and so NDVI stands for Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. And really, what's happening is as these images are being taken, healthy vegetation absorbs most visible light that hits it, and it will reflect a large portion of near infrared light. Whereas unhealthy, it's kind of the inverse. So unhealthy vegetation reflects more visible light, and it absorbs or it doesn't reflect as much near infrared light. So what's being taken place through these visuals is really an equation behind the scenes to determine what light's being reflected by the plants to tell you whether or not that plant is healthy or not. So just wanted to provide that because I'm going to be mentioning NDVI a few times over the next few slides, and wanted to provide that background. So that's what NDVI comprises of. RGB is really just what your naked eye sees. So if you were suspended up in the air or parachuting down and just looking down with your eyes, that's what you're seeing, right? So that's kind of the difference in the two different abbreviations that I'll be mentioning today. So as we look at what can be analyzed in these images captured off the drone, there's a lot of different things. Some of these were mentioned already, but you have a color map setting with NDVI here. You see the large field in the center, but there's a few other neat features that are available in Sony's Fast Field Analyzer tool. There's a color map distribution, and as I mentioned with NDVI about plant reflectance of light, it's based off of that equation, if you will, is based off of a 0 to 1 for the most part, 0 to 1 scale of plant health, where 1 being extremely great healthy plant, 0 meaning not healthy at all. So that's kind of the gradient, if you will, or the scale that's used. And so with the color map distribution, you can actually toggle with the minimum and maximum degrees that you're looking for. And I'll show you actually in a few slides, there's a really cool use case for this that really helps me out. But you're able to zone in on different sections of the crop. So if you're really just wanting to look at the unhealthy or the healthy or the somewhat healthy, you can really zone in on where those occurrences are happening. And additionally, there's ability in this Fast Field Analyzer to look through all the different images that have been taken. So you kind of got your catalog, if you will, or your event date listed on the left, where you can click on a few of the different images that were taken over time. And then on the right, which is a really cool tool, on the right, you can actually view the RGB images. So, as you look at this field in this pretty colors, if you will, of NDVI, you may find an area that you want to click on, or you want to see the field just in general of what it looks like to the naked eye. And that can easily be done. And it's an example of that, where you can kind of just see from high up, and you can also zoom in a little bit more to get a little bit more clarity there. But this is what an RGB image will allow within your Fast Field Analyzer to look at. The last thing that's worth mentioning here on this next slide is one area that we find a lot of use in, and this is where our use case comes into play, is around what Sony calls a region of interest. And we've monitored and measured our different crop protection products and stacked them up against other products in the industry, against our own, against competitors, against the untreated acre, et cetera. And we've utilized these region of interest to really hone in on the efficacy of our product and how well it's working on the field. And so really what a region of interest is on the field that you've mapped out in the Fast Field Analyzer, you can actually select within your field new boundaries, if you will, or new sections of that field, or as Sony calls them, regions of interest in that field. So you can select those areas and really compare them against each other and analyze those areas to get more detailed information. And so I'll give you a great example. This is a use case that we used last year in Illinois on some trials that we did with corn. And so we put a few of our products. So we have a great corn fungicide that's been on the market for several years called Trivapro. We wanted to put that against one of our newest corn fungicides, Miravis Neo, that we just introduced about a year or so ago. And we also wanted to try it out against the untreated acre, or the untreated section, against it's Miravis Neo's generic competitor, if you will, or generic version, and a competitive product to Miravis Neo. So lots of different things going on in this field. As you can kind of see, and I know it's probably small on your screen, but there's lots of rectangles that are drawn out here across the field vertically. And these rectangles are the regions of interest that I was mentioning. So you'll see on the very far left, there's the Trivapro region of interest, the Miravis Neo untreated generic competitor, and then it kind of starts back over. We did a second time just to make sure that we can verify what's occurring, and it's not just a one-off type instance. So we did this. This was this NDVI image was captured at the end of August, I believe, of last year, and within just a short amount of time, we started to see plant health change, and we started to be able to kind of collect some results, if you will. So this was mid-September, so a few weeks after the previous image that we just saw. And so you can start to pick apart the color differences. And full disclosure here, I am a little bit colorblind, and I know that sounds a little awkward. I work in imagery and I'm colorblind, but there's some really great tools that you can use in this section of the FFA software that helps me with someone that struggles with identifying what the heck is going on in this image. And so to me, this image, I can see where there's some common occurrences or some strips, if you will, that are taking place, but being able to see where the really healthy sections are, where the green is popping off, is really hard for me to determine. So if you remember back a few slides, I mentioned that you can kind of you can use a scale from that 0 to 1 and hone in on different variables, if you will, to really bring out what part of the crop or the field is healthy, which part of the field is not as healthy. And so when you do that in the tool, it provides a really cool visual. So when you take out the unhealthy variables there, or if I can't remember exactly what number we settled on here. I believe is somewhere around 0.7 or 0.6. That we said anything 0.7 or 0.6 and below, so down to 0, which is really, really unhealthy, take it out. So basically remove that noise from this image. Anything above that, keep it in so that we can visualize it on the field. So what you're seeing here is basically, it's only showing you the healthy areas of the field. And to me, this really popped off a lot easier for my eyes to see for several reasons. But then you can start to look at how things are holding up against each other. So you can automatically start to see where, in this example, Miravis Neo is doing a great job compared to some of the other products out there. However, even seeing this is not enough to really know whether or not you're getting your money's worth for the product that you're using, right? And so another thing to consider, and I think it's worth saying that plant health does not necessarily equal yield. However, it's a strong indicator that when you have a healthy plant, you're more than likely going to have a fairly decent or good yield. So we're using in this example an example of plant health, and that's what we're looking at here. But it's a lot easier. It is nice to look at this image, but it's a lot easier when you have data that really backs up what's going on. So if we look real quickly at the histogram analysis that's provided on this example, what you can do with the analysis in the fast field analyzer that Sony provides is you can look at how basically a percentage of the crop and how much of that percentage of your region of interest is healthy. So we took those rectangles, as you remember. We looked at the Miravis Neo. We put it against the untreated and the competitor here for an example to show. In this box that we've kind of outlined shows you the healthy part of the really healthy part of that region of interest. So what you're seeing off the screen here is almost 38.5% of the Miravis Neo region of interest was really, really healthy results. And then as you look across the screen here, you'll notice the untreated only showed 8.8%, and the competitive product did very well, in my opinion, when you're comparing against the other things here, 26.5. However, you're able to not just look at it visually and try to determine which one's better. You're able to use the data that's collected and realize that you're still leaving about 12% on the table here by going with the competitive product. So this is a really great way in which you can do field trials or strip trials or different ways in which you can measure the efficacy of your crop protection products. We've had a lot of success with this lately, and we've heard of some of our retail customers utilizing this method for this year coming up. So really encourage you, if you're curious or you want to know more information, feel free to reach out, and we'd be happy to connect with you on that. And then another great piece of this is, you've done all this work. You want to be able to send out a report or send out information. Sony's got a great platform. I mentioned with Farm Shots, our imagery solution, that we're able to white label that and put a retailer logo. Well, the Fast Field Analyzer also has a section where you can put your retail logo at the top right of the scouting report that you can send out to your customers or other consultants or others that you work with. So this is just a very quick sample of that, but it will include images that were taken with the drone. You can also include some of the data collected or the histogram analysis type information. So this is just another example of trying to bring not just a resource to our end customer, the grower, but also provide a great tool for the retailers to utilize when they're working with their customers. And I'll provide one last example before I turn things back over. But there's probably 100 different cases. We got one picture from last season of a green snap assessment. For those that aren't familiar, this happens in corn in the vegetative state, somewhere around V8 to tassel, and it can be caused by high winds in an area because the stalk's growing pretty rapidly, and high winds come in and can just snap, as the name indicates here. This particular customer was able to use the drone imagery to identify which areas of the field really suffered from green snap, and then they were able to, at the end of the year, get their average yield in the other sections and apply how much that damaged area totaled to, and just get a better assessment, and also save time and not having to scout the whole entire field of trying to find out where the problem areas really were. So I thought this was great. We also heard an example from a grower last year that, or from a retail customer, last year that was working with a few growers, and there was a dicamba drift issue that occurred, and the grower that was impacted said that their neighbor that applied, basically the dicamba had damaged all 55 or 56 acres of their operation. And through using the drone technology, the retailer was able to fly that grower's field, look at the plant health, and determine that really only around 6 acres were impacted by dicamba. So again, it's one of those gut things that it's always good to check. And they were able to work out a resolution after that and discuss next steps. But it was really, it's really the way in which you can use this technology in a variety of ways that to me provides a lot of value. So to wrap things up here, I think a lot of questions come in around when should we fly the drone, when should we use it for comparison sakes, and I think unfortunately I don't have a direct answer. I think it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So as we mentioned, you can utilize this tool all the way from planting through harvest. So whether it's through using the stand count or looking at nitrogen, using it for crop protection possibilities like we talked about today, and then even flying your fields before harvest and seeing where they're at in the dry down stage and prioritizing which fields you want to harvest first. All those things are equally important throughout the season. So I think that's one of the things that we really are excited to work with Sony on, is we get to work with them, and our retail customers that we work with get to work together in helping our customers know when the best time is to fly according to their operation and what they're growing and what they're trying to get out of using this solution. The last thing I want to mention too here is that you can utilize this solution in a variety of different ways. As a retailer, we have some retailers that are utilizing this as a tool for really evaluating their own trials that they have going on and really trying to determine how they're going to use it just internally for themselves. We have others that use this on select growers, customers of theirs, based off of their segmentation work that they do. We have others that offer this as a part of their precision service. So if you already have precision activities going on at your retail operation, you may want to consider adding in this drone program as an additional value add to your customers that could go with any other type services that you're providing in that precision space. So the options are endless, and we are excited to continue to work and partner with Sony and with our retail customers to deliver this solution. At the end of the day, if you are interested in our drone scouting solution, what we provide, in addition to what you mentioned around having the Sony camera and the fast field analyzer and the drone, and I'm sure he'll go over pricing here in a few minutes, but outside of that, what we offer as a part of our drone scouting solution is you get dedicated support and training from Syngenta and our Ag Connections team that's focused on providing digital service to our customers. So you get that dedicated support. We're going to help you in that agronomic space and in that service space from end to end to help ensure that it's a successful season utilizing that drone scouting. So that's what our solution comprises of. It's kind of an addition to just getting the drone yourself. We're also partnering with you to help unlock the value through agronomics and service. So if you're interested, we encourage you to reach out to your Syngenta sales rep, your local sales rep that you work with. And if you already have a drone through our Syngenta drone scouting solution, if it's through Syngenta that you've purchased that or worked with us to obtain that drone, we have Ag Connections on call at any time. They're open Monday through Friday, and it can be reached via email at any time here at support@agconnections.com or through their phone number listed here. So with all that being said, appreciate the time. I hope I answered some of the questions that may have been on the minds of you guys as coming into today's call. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn things back over to you.
Thank you very much, Peyton. Great presentation. So just a quick, couple of things. I've already had a question of the pricing thing. So the pricing for this solution is so they have cameras and softwares. And the camera is $3,500 US, and the software is the yearly subscription plan. We have standard and business plans, and the additional functionality such as fan count or prescription is available only for the business version. So please check this what function is available for each version. And how to buy this, if you're interested in, then you go to our website, and we have the product page, the cameras. When you select the camera and then purchase, then you will have the list of the drone integrators who sells our solution. And the software, you go to the software products, and then you select the purchase, and then you will have be routed to the Sony license web store where you can purchase the software license. And if you're interested in the evaluation before the purchasing, then you can have the free of charge 15-day free trial offer. So you can go to this website, and then you can download the software and the data set for your free evaluation. And with that, I close the presentations, and then move into this question and answer session here now. Let me have a look. So we have the question here is like, can we use fast field analyzer with our current drone camera system? We are able to achieve the 1 and 3 centimeter pixel resolution. Yeah. So the answer for this question is our solution is compatible with these drones here. So if you have any drones listed here, it can work with your own drone. So that's the answer. And the next question: how do our clients see or view the imagery in FFA? So the imagery in FFA, firstly, it can be viewed on the screens, and also it can be exported as a report. So that's one thing. So you can share this with your client with PDF reports and things. And for the imagery itself, as the Peyton mentioned, we can upload to the farm shots, and then they share the images through the farm shots on the website things. That's the one of the way. Or you can take out this data from this FFA. It's a standard GeoTIFF file. So if you have an existing platform, then you can utilize that too. Okay. The next question. So we cover this question. Okay, so next question is how many acres can you fly using the drone? So this question, so depending on the drone type. So actually we have this information here. So if you use like a Phantom 4 type of the drone, which is more like entry type of the drones, you can cover with single battery up to 135 acres. So that you can cover. And depending on the type of the drones, if you use more enterprise class drones, such as like Matrix 200 cities, you can cover up to 270 acres per flight. Okay. And the next question, maybe it's for the Peyton. Can Syngenta provide the actual more use case information when I'm interested in this in the solution? Peyton, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've got quite a few different use cases, and we'd be happy to share that with you. I'm not sure who asked that question, but if you want to reach out to your local Syngenta representative, or feel free to reach out to me. My email address is pretty easy. It's peyton.miriam@syngenta.com. But feel free to reach out to your local Syngenta rep or myself, and we'd be happy to have additional conversations with you around and provide some examples of where we've had success and where our customers have had success with this.
Okay. Okay, so now the time is 2 o'clock Eastern now. So the time is up, and then we have a couple of the questions coming now, but we will separately reply offline these questions. So thank you very much for your time today. And as I mentioned, after finishing this webinar, so you will have the quick the post survey information. So please give some feedback. Just 5 seconds you can fill in. Give us some feedback to us for further improvement of this webinar series. And if you'd like to have further information, please visit our website, and you will have additional information there. With that, we close this session today. Thank you very much to everybody joining this webinar, and thank you very much, Peyton, for the great presentation.